Ah, the NBA. Just when you think Adam Silver is taking steps in the right direction, he makes another decision that reminds you, hey, peasant, I'm still woke. A couple of weeks ago, the NBA lifted the mandated butt bongo session with Fauci in order for players to play in games. The Lizard has been super busy the past 12 months, spreading his love throughout the NBA. Unwilling players who are dependent on the NBA for income, they have been forced to participate in multiple sessions of the butt bongo in order to keep getting paid. But Adam Silver, he finally seemed to come to his senses. He finally did what biologists at Woke U have been suggesting all along: follow the science. Adam Silver listened to his players. He heard their agonizing stories describing in great detail their experiences with the Fauci. Mr. Commissioner, please, please, do not force us to get Fauci fucked again. Even though the Fauci identifies as a female lizard, we prefer real women. He drags out the butt bongo sessions for hours and forces us to return for what he calls a boosted session. Much to Fauci's dismay, Adam Silver lifted the Fauci fucking mandate. It was a massive blow to the dwindling ego and influence of the lizard. This reptile, it once had major influence over people who lack the ability to think for themselves. For about 18 months, maybe even 2 years, aspiring shitfucks blindly followed America's most famous reptile. For decades, Kermit the Frog held that title. March of 2020, Fauci took the crown. But his influence has diminished. Deacons of Woke United Methodist, they have been keeping the lizard in a cage. He is no longer dominating cable news on a daily basis. Instead of CNN, MSNBC multiple times a day, Fauci now makes rare appearances on PBS or NPR or local AM radio in somewhere like Winona, Minnesota. Earlier this week, Deacons let the lizard out of the cage to throw out the first pitch at a Mariners game in Seattle. Now you got to remember, the dominant religion in Seattle is wokeism. Bumism comes in at a close second. A once beautiful city's been overrun with bums and woke leeches. If there was one city in the country you would think would still be receptive to the Fauci, you'd think it was Seattle. His handlers, they carried the cage up to the pitcher's mound. They opened the cage door and the lizard crawled out. Listen to the response from the congregation at the Seattle chapter of Woke United Methodist. Roll the film.
Dr. Fauci will head up to the mound to deliver this evening's ceremonial first pitch. Mariners manager Scott Service.
You missed this! You missed the pandemic, loser!
Okay, if a woke city like Seattle's over the COVID, you know the rest of the country has been over it. Even the CDC has admitted, I think we fucked up here. We can't admit we were using this virus to exert our power and control over the population, so we're going to update our guidelines and subtly let people know that everything we have said up to this point has been 100% bullshit. Hopefully, this will renew all of the trust we have lost with the American people. This right here is basically an admission from the CDC that Fauci fucking does not prevent you from getting the COVID. They're never going to come out and say it, although if they did, I think some people might trust them again. Now, for me personally, at this point, I don't believe anything that comes from the CDC. That piece of shit could tell me that Leah Thomas is really a man. I'd believe he was a woman. Whatever the CDC claims, I tend to believe the opposite. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, Adam Silver lifts the Fauci fucking mandate across the NBA. Now, my first thought when this happened was, are they going to give Kyrie Irving back pay? Kyrie Irving sacrificed millions of dollars last season being forced to sit out home games in Brooklyn because he refused to get fucked. Just like we knew all along here on the channel, Kyrie Irving was in the right. Will Adam Silver force Joe Tsai to compensate Kyrie Irving? Doubtful. But at least the NBA was taking a step in the right direction, or so it seemed. Our friends up in Canada, they are still being forced to deal with useless COVID mandates. Their president or prime minister, whatever the hell they call him in Canada, here on the channel, Justin Trudeau is just another shitfuck. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Justin Trudeau. The mainstream media, they treat him like a deity. My sources tell me when Chris Cuomo posts shirtless selfies on social media, he is really activating his woke mating call, hoping to get the attention of Justin Trudeau. This dude is an absolute tyrant. He's a believer in mythical climate change. Over the last 2 years, he has had numerous Canadian pastors arrested for the dangerous crime of holding church services. He continues to enforce mask mandates, even though it's been proven masks are completely useless. Masks only serve two purposes. They're essential for doctors and dentists, nurses when they're working on patients, and they are damn essential for hiding the faces of hideous birthing people. Jamel Hill, Rachel Levine, Stacey Abrams. If you're a participant in the woke beauty contest, masks should be required. Now, of course, Justin Trudeau doesn't wear masks himself. No. And he clearly doesn't believe in mythical climate change. Check out this footage from last week of Justin Trudeau taking his family on a nice little Costa Rican vacation on a private jet with no mask. Gained 1.5 million views in 24 hours. It's almost at 4 million in 7 days. Canadians are pissed. They are tired of dealing with the bullshit oppression of this useless shitfuck. Now, I share all of this with you for a reason. The NBA has a history of inserting themselves into political agendas. More specifically, Adam Silver has a tendency to side with whatever the seemingly popular opinion is at the time. Doesn't mean it's always right, but Adam Silver is a proven follower, not a leader. For example, summer of 2020, it seemed the popular opinion was endorsing Black Lives Matter. The movement was all the mainstream media was pushing. It was popular on social media, or so it seemed. Ratings for the NBA playoffs set record lows. The NBA Finals, which featured the face of mythical racism LeBron James, was an unmitigated disaster. Adam Silver comes out that October and announces, "We are going to leave mythical racism alone. It doesn't seem to be attracting viewers." Yeah. Who would have thought calling your fan base racist would make them stop watching your product? Adam Silver and the NBA, they are active participants in Woke Christmas. He marches in gay pride parades. My sources tell me Adam Silver shares stories with his fellow marchers about his passionate butt bongo sessions with Daddy G. When Daryl Morey endorsed Taiwan, Daddy was so mad at me. He spanked me relentlessly, then punished me with a cucumber. Oh, it was so passionate. Even this recent decision to lift the Fauci fucking mandate across the NBA, I don't know if Adam Silver was following the science or if he noticed popular opinion that people were over the COVID. Maybe it was a combination of both. But the point is, the NBA typically is not afraid to insert themselves into political agendas. The only time they are strangely silent is when it comes to China for obvious reasons, and now when it comes to the COVID in Canada. They're not afraid to criticize America. No. They weren't afraid to label half the country mythically racist. They weren't afraid to preach the importance of getting the most corrupt administration in my lifetime elected into office. But the league obsessed with mythical racism says nothing about the Canadian government discriminating against their own players. Matter of fact, not only does Adam Silver say nothing, he bends over and takes the Canadian cucumber. NBA players traveling to Toronto for games this season, they must have undergone a minimum of 2 rounds of butt bongo with the lizard. If they haven't subjected themselves to 2 rounds, they won't be allowed to enter the country. Now, to take things a step further, Players will also not be paid for games missed in Toronto. If a player misses a game due to a knee injury, paid. Concussion, paid. If Kawhi Leonard has jet lag and decides he needs some load management sleep, paid. If Kyrie Irving refuses the butt bongo with Fauci, he sacrifices his game check. Now you may be thinking, KC, this is a Canadian government decision. The NBA has no control over this situation. This is true. That's absolutely true. But the NBA does have influence. Now, I'm not saying Adam Silver fighting the Canadian mandates or speaking out against it would do any good, but at least it would be a step in the right direction. Adam Silver has shown time and time again he does not have the balls to take a stand against tyrannical governments. He shows his false bravado when fighting against the American government, or more specifically, one side of the political system. But when it comes to tyrannical governments, he runs and hides. This should have been so easy for the NBA. If they only took a stand for PR reasons, this should have been an easy stand to take. The majority of the American population, they've been over the COVID. From what I read, the majority of the Canadian population's fed up with Justin Trudeau and the COVID policies. This should have been an easy PR win for Adam Silver in the NBA. Elected politicians, they have a funny way of changing their minds when the combination of pressures coming from the population along with powerful organizations. When it's just coming from the populations, they don't care until election season. But when the pressure's coming from both, politicians have a tendency to quickly change course. The problem is, Adam Silver doesn't have the balls to put the pressure on Justin Trudeau. I can't turn my back on my brother in woke. I won't be invited to the Toronto Butt Bongo Festival in October. That is my favorite festival of the year. You just can't beat Canadian cucumbers. But let me know what you think. Adam Silver in the NBA, once again bowing the knee to a tyrannical government. Is anyone surprised by this? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.